Hello everyone, it's Sharon and Jamie from Sharon and Jamie Travel, and we recently visited Princess Cays on our Carnival Elation cruise, and it was our first time there. Although we have been to other private islands, this was our first time at Princess Cays, and we thought we would come in and maybe give it a little review with you. And also, we did take a little tour of the island, and so we thought we'd show you that and just kind of talk about our experience.
So like Sharon said, Princess Cays is one of Carnival's private islands. It's also visited by other Carnival Cruise Line ships as well. Now I know Carnival's getting ready to introduce Big Celebration Key, right? Their whole new thing to compete with Coco Cay and other private islands that the cruise lines have. But right now they just have Princess Cays, and of course they have Half Moon Cay, which we've been to as well. So those two islands are very simple, right? They're just beaches, a little food, a little drink, a lot of sun, hopefully some fun and things like that. There are excursions that you can book when you go to the island if you want to do like kayaking, paddle boarding. I don't know, they have like you can get a clamshell, or what else can you get over there?
Yeah, you can rent a cabana, clamshells. You can also get a chair with an umbrella, and that does cost a bit more as well. So those are just some of the options you can do.
Yeah. Now, when it comes to paying for things while you're on the island, you can use your cash, your credit card in some of the shops. Although, Sharon, you said some of the other shops did take the Sail and Sign card.
Yeah, right? The ones that were a little more of a store that you walked into, those I found just took the Sail and Sign card.
Okay, versus like a vendor that was there or something like that might take cash. All right, so you can go either way with regards to paying for that stuff. And if you're getting drinks, then that is something where you are going to pay, and it's going to get charged to your onboard account. And folks, very important, the drink package. If you have it on the cruise ship, drink package is not included, okay?
That's right. Food's
included, drink package is not included, so that's something to be aware of. All right, so overall, yeah, maybe you could say there's a little bit of nickel and diming going on, and we'll talk a little bit about the pricing and stuff for the drinks. At least I'll mention that in a minute. But we wanted to get to the island tour because Sharon grabbed the camera, she took a lap all the way around the place, and she did a great tour. So Sharon, take it away with your tour.
Let's go. Hello everyone, it's Sharon from Sharon and Jamie Travel, and we are in Princess Cays today. It's a beautiful private island here in the Bahamas. There's tons of lounge chairs. It is a huge beach area. It's beautiful here. The water's calm. Only downside, there is no pool on this private island, but that's okay because we have all of this beautiful beach area. I'll take you on a little tour later. There's bars, there's restaurants, there's some shopping, there's all kinds of things. There is a nice shaded area where you first walk in from the tender boat. It is a tender, you do have to take a tender here. Down at the other end, there's cabanas you can rent if you choose to do that. Woo! And then I'm down here in the water. The water's a little chilly this morning, but hopefully it'll feel warmer as the day goes on. So like I said, it is a tender island here, so you do have to take the tender boat from our ship, as you can see behind me. So we got up and took the tender here. It was just a quick 5-minute ride on the little boat over here. So we are going to go get settled in our lounge chairs and start the fun today. Well, now I'm going to take you on a little tour of Princess Cays. So this is where you actually get off the tender here behind me. Let me flip the camera around and I'm going to show you everything there is here on Princess Cays. So that's the tender boat coming in here. And as you walk into Princess Cays, you look over here, there's a little first aid stand area, a little building there. So if you have any maybe stubbed toes or anything that happens, there you go. They have some sand wheelchairs there as well. There's restrooms. There's it says craft center. There's the craft market back there. There's also some lockers. So now let's walk inside here. There'll be a little reminder here of when to get back on the ship. People start lining up. Oh, and one great thing, they do have a towel station here. So no need to bring your towels if you don't want to pack those along. There's an information center there. The Princess Cays Resort Store, right there. There's some hats, water shoes, looks like Crocs, some type of Crocs type shoes, things there. Some other little stands up here with hats and bags, little things you can buy. They'll take your picture when you walk in. Let's walk on down here. Oh, before we go any further, right here is the sign back to the ship. So when you're ready to go back to the ship, you're gonna line up right here to get back on the tender. So as line starts forming there, I highly suggest that you go back a little early. Otherwise, you kind of hang out and wait for the last tender. Otherwise, you're going to be in a long line. Here's some other nice things you can buy, little souvenirs. There's also hair braiding. And we'll walk down this little pathway here. This will take you all the way down, but there's the beach area right there. That's where it starts. You can see the ship out there. Now this area right when you walk off the ship, if you want some shade, this is a great place to grab some shade if you get off first. These will get taken pretty quickly. So I would suggest you grab one of these if you want shade, because some of the umbrellas down there, they're not totally shaded. Let's walk down here. There's more stores here. So there's lots of souvenirs here. You can walk out of the little port area. There's some more shops and restaurants and things down the road. But really, if you just want your typical souvenirs, there's no reason to do so. There's all kinds of things here. Now I'm going to walk down here and kind of show you. There's a beach. There's several beach bars actually, but you don't really have to walk up to the bar. There is bar service at your seats, so they've already been coming around to our seats a couple times and keeping us supplied with drinks. There's the first bar right here that you're going to run into. That's where the band will be playing later. They just have some music going right now, but there'll be an actual band playing there later. Look how gorgeous that water is out there. And you can see a lifeguard right there. There are lifeguards on duty. If you look out a ways, you can see another red umbrella. That's another lifeguard. So there's multiple lifeguards. Look at that. Now we're going to go back up to the walkway here and kind of walk down. I'm going to take you all the way down to where the cabanas are and the sanctuary area, and then we'll come back and show you the beach. There's some restrooms back over there. The pink buildings are, I think most of the restrooms are pink buildings. And look at this. Is this not cute? There's a little kiddie pool and a playground. So if you have little ones, this is a great place to come hang out. They can play in the pool. If you're worried about them being in the ocean, it's a nice place for them to cool off. There's life vests over there, and there's a lifeguard. And it's not too far from the entrance, just down the walkway. Then if you go down a little bit further, over here you can see another area. It's like another kids area actually. So lots for the kiddos to do. Now let's just keep moving on down here. There is a float station here. You can rent, that's like a rental, so you can rent cabanas, snorkel gear, the aqua chairs, water noodles, and floats. So those are all right here, and you can rent those. And there's more shopping. And just on the other side, once again, there's the beach right over here, large beach area. Here's some more colorful chairs in the shade here. Another little shady area. And there is a designated smoking area with an arrow pointing to it for those who are wanting to smoke out here. So you can't just smoke everywhere, but there is a designated area. The grill is down here. This is where the buffet line starts. They're gonna have a barbecue lunch that's included. It looks pretty good. There's more picnic tables here if you wanna sit at a table and eat. One thing I will say, here's a little story. So when we got here, we went to look for lounge chairs, and there's lounge chairs like everywhere. There's so many. But you might want to bring something to kind of clean them a little, because there was quite a bit of bird droppings, I might say, on a lot of the lounge chairs this morning. So beware of that. And Here's another bar, and you can come up to the bar and order, but like I said, so far we've had great bar service at our chairs. There's some other little stands right here. They're gonna put little food options and snacks and things out here in a little while. It's still quite early. It's only about 9:30 in the morning. So make sure you eat a little something before you get off the ship, because you might, they don't put the food out till a little bit later and you don't want to get hungry. Look at how cool that is. You can climb up there, take some nice pictures, and get an awesome view of the ocean. I'm going to take you down here. I think this is where you can get a better view of the canoes. So actually, if you walk past that viewing tower that I just showed you and come back to the other side of the island here, this is the best way to get to the canoe rentals. They're right down there. And here's the cabanas. You can rent these cabanas. I believe they're for 4 people. There's 4 lounge chairs out in front of each one. And the cabanas go all the way down this walkway. And they're just across from them are more lounge chairs. You can see the ship out there, beautiful view. There's some other cute little areas to lay. And there's access to the water in a couple different areas with some steps down there. And this is a great place actually to snorkel. There's a lot of little rocks around and things. Let me show you in a minute. See, lots of little alcoves here, little areas. There's signs everywhere to keep off the rocks. Once again, you can see the ship out there, but these are great little areas to snorkel all the way down. More cabanas down here. Now we're gonna head down to the very end where there's the sanctuary area with sanctuary cabanas. And it's so peaceful over here. You can just barely hear the music. It's quiet, peaceful, and look at the view here. Such a gorgeous view here from the cabanas down here. And up ahead is the sanctuary. And they have a little rope here because you're not supposed to go in unless you have access. But as you can see inside, there's more cabanas, similar to out here, but there's just a little more of an upcharge. Now let's head back down to the beach area. And right by the cabanas, there you go, there's more restrooms. And once again, they're in the pink buildings. So if you're looking for a restroom, look for the pink buildings. That's an easy way to find them. Looks like the bar is getting busy. Now I'm gonna take you back down to the beach. And we're right up here. But that would make a nice place for a picture. But here's where our little group here is hanging out. It's a great area. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed the quick little tour of Princess Cays. Cays. I know that's controversial. Some people call it Keys, some people call it Cays. I call it Princess Cays.
Well, Sharon, you did an absolutely fabulous job of walking through that entire island. And thank you for doing that, because I would have been exhausted having to go back and forth all over that place.
It's a little bit longer than you can.
You did. You went all the way from one end to the other, so you did a great job. And on the other side of where the tenders come in, there's a small area as well. And I know you didn't even have time to venture all the way over to there, but a little extended part of the island that you can check out too. And you may want to take a look at a map before you go. That's what we did. We kind of took a look at a map of Princess Cays, and we said, hey, where do we want to go? We had a group of people with us, and we kind of pinpointed where do you think we want to go when we get off of the tender boat and get a nice little spot close to the water where we could all be together.
Yeah, that way you can kind of see where the bars are located and things like that if you want to be a little closer to that. Although One thing we did notice that we really didn't even have to walk up to the bars. The service was exceptional there.
Yes.
They were constantly coming back and asking if we wanted a drink.
Yeah, the bar service was all over the place. Although one little thing that you should know, now I mentioned you're going to be paying for your drinks. And when they came out to us, they had a deal for 6 beers, right? A bucket of beer, so to speak. And of course, we were all over that. We were with a group that were having some cold beverages of the adult nature. But one thing is, in order to get them on ice, you had to spend extra money to buy a Carnival, like a cooler. And it was something you could take home, but you had to get a cooler bag that they would put ice and beer into. So we were like, man, that's a little bit of a curb. That's a little bit of a rip, if I'm being totally honest. Luckily, one of the folks in our group brought their own bag. They did a BYOB, and they saved the day, so we actually got that refilled a couple times. But listen, if you wanted to get 6 beers and you wanted to get the cooler with the ice, guys, with gratuity, tax, it was almost $80, which is just out of control. That is just crazy.
Yeah. And one thing I will say about the drinks, so they were coming around. They had some mixed drinks already kind of on a tray they were carrying around, so or in a bucket, I guess, that they were offering to people, like daiquiris and different things like that. Now, if you wanted to order, I guess it was a little limited, the menu, because if you wanted to order something on your own, they may or may not have it. For instance, I asked them, well, can I get a strawberry margarita instead of a strawberry daiquiri? And he said, no, we don't have those. We don't have frozen flavored drinks. I said, okay. He goes, you can get a regular frozen margarita, but not a strawberry one. So I guess they probably had pre-made daiquiris in the machines, I'm assuming, and the other ones they weren't able to add the mix to. So you could just make regular margaritas. So hey, I settled for a regular margarita, and it was pretty good.
Yeah, and you could go up to the bar yourself and get a cocktail if you wanted something besides beer or those mixed drinks. I think Miami Vice was one of them that they had as well when they were coming around. And they did come in a souvenir cup, so I don't know, maybe that's cool. But I think those drinks were about $15-16 a piece for that. So again, nothing cheap going on if you're trying to enjoy a couple of adult beverages. Now, we did enjoy the day, laying out and getting in the water a couple times, so that was a lot of fun. One thing that you might want to do is bring a little towel with you off of the cruise ship, because there was something all over the chairs when we got there. What did we find there? It was a little bit of a mess.
Well, maybe the birds left a few little droppings on some of the chairs. Quite a few chairs.
A few and little are 2 words that I would not have used. There were a ton of huge droppings. The seagulls were out in abundance. And we went through a row of about 15 chairs, and maybe about 4 of them were clear. So bring a towel from your guest room, from your stateroom on the ship, so you can get it wet and wipe down any chair you might have. That's just a little tip from us to you, and you will thank us later for that. But after enjoying some time in the sun, then finally the buffet did open, right? It's not open all day. It opened, I think, at like it's like 11 to 2. I think maybe that was the hours. So at 11 o'clock, there was a swarm of people that went there. And I actually got in line to go check out the buffet. And I sat there. I waited in line for about 25 minutes. And after that, I just said, you know what? I'm done. I don't want to be part of this. I don't want to wait this long in line. So I went ahead and got out of the line, went back to the chair. I figured in 2 hours, I'm going to be back on the cruise ship anyway. So that's what I did. But Sharon, you stuck it out, didn't you?
I did. I did get in that line, and it was pretty long, but it
You're very brave. Very brave.
It slowly inched up and moved along. By the time I got up there and I looked at the menu it looked pretty good, but very limited once again. But when I saw the food, it didn't look that appealing. There were a couple salads, and they looked a little bit like they had been sitting for a while out in the heat, and they just didn't look too appetizing. There was some chicken, pulled pork. They were doing burgers, hot dogs. They had chips and salsa, and they had some little desserts over off to the side, and some fountain drinks there as well, like the water and the lemonade, teas, and things like that you can get, like you see on the cruise ship.
Yeah.
So we went through there. I was with Matthew, and we got a plate. I did try a burger, and I will say the burger was pretty good. Now, it's not a guy's burger on Carnival, but it was a good, solid burger. But I just felt like it just looked a little underwhelming, the buffet.
It was definitely underwhelming. So we wanted to come on here. We wanted to talk a little bit about our experience, because we didn't really get a chance to talk about it while we were on the island. So we wanted to kind of convey that message to you guys. But we also wanted to show you the video. So after doing all that, Sharon, what's your rating? How did you feel about it? Would you want to go back? Do you have a number, like a 1 to 10? You can give your experience at Princess Cays. Tell the people at home what you thought of our day on that private island.
Well, I am going to probably give it a 6 for a private island. and that's maybe a little high, but a 6.
Okay.
If you're looking for just to hang out on the beach with some really awesome water, it might be nice.
Yeah.
But the food was underwhelming, and the beach was pretty rocky. So that's another thing I would suggest, that if you are going there, make sure you bring some water shoes, because it is a little rocky in the water.
Good point.
But I'm going to give it a 6. I've been to several other private islands with, Half Moon Cay before, and other cruise lines, and they were all much better.
Yeah.
So, but
All right.
you know what? I probably am not going to be hot to get there again right away. If I happen to go on a cruise that stops there, hey, I'll enjoy the day. But it's not a place that I'm going to really plan to go back on. And we were there with a lot of friends, so we had a great day because of that. If we were there without our friends and we were just kind of there, it might have been a little more underwhelming, you might say.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And I'm definitely going to be in the same ballpark as you. I'm going one notch lower. I'm giving it a 5. I'm going to give it a 5.
It's usually the opposite with us.
The one bright spot was the quality of the bar service. The guys were there. They were ready to go. So we didn't go thirsty, although, you know, we paid the price to not go thirsty as well. Even the food, even like Coco Cay or Great Syrup Cay or some other places we've been to, you know, the food experience was just bad too. So for you said 6. Yeah. I'm giving it a 5. That's a total score of an 11 out of 20, and I don't think that's too good. So sorry, Carnival, we just didn't love Princess Cays, but you know, we wanted to come on here, share our experience with you, and tell you what we thought of our day through our Carnival Elation cruise at Princess Cays.
So I hope this video was helpful. If you are planning a cruise that's stopping in Princess Cays, maybe you have a little idea of what to expect. And if you have been to Princess Cays before, or Princess Cays, make sure you post in the comments what your experience was.
Yeah.
How did you like it?
Do you think we're crazy? Are we like talking out our yin yang? Are you totally disagreement? Are you saying, yeah, we felt the same? So let us know in the comments below the video what you thought of your Princess Cays experience. Yeah. We would love to know.
That's right. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.